every 400 births worldwide. There is no known cause or cure. Last week saw the start of a very important national campaign to create greater awareness and understanding, and importantly recognise the achievements of people with cerebral palsy. The Circle recently visited the Cerebral Palsy Education Centre in Melbourne, Victoria, one of the world's leading educational centres, to catch up with a very dear friend of mine, the inspirational Tate Kemp.
Cerebral palsy is a physical disability that affects children before, during or soon after birth as the result of a lack of oxygen to the brain, a bleed in the brain, infection across the placenta, a whole range of reasons why a child may end up with cerebral palsy. I'd say the major misconception is that people with cerebral palsy have severe intellectual disability, which is totally untrue. Many of the children we know have average, above average to high levels of intellectual ability.
Who are you back for? Who's here?
Tate had a very difficult delivery which resulted in a starvation of oxygen, and we were advised after an MRI that he had cerebral palsy. At the time we were told not to really expect a lot. They were unsure of what his capabilities would be. But he's now walking, he's now talking, and he's living a pretty normal life. This centre has taught Tate's brain to communicate with his body and to get him to be able to do things which we thought were never possible.
We have our ups and downs, but he's just a great brother and we always get through things and we just live a normal life.
The majority of children probably enter the service around 18 months to 2, and they stay in the service till 6 years of age, and then we also support their transition into mainstream kindergarten, daycare centres throughout that time. It is the only centre in Australia that has brought together bodies of knowledge that are state-of-the-art for children with cerebral palsy, and the knowledge and the way we approach cerebral palsy as a disability, I think, is a way forward for all children with cerebral palsy. When I first started work and I met families who at that stage were the same age as me or older, there were women coming in with these little babies and very young children quite a number of years ago. All I reflected on was how can their life be a happier life, a life where there was more hope. And I see families take up that huge challenge that we offer them and move forward and get really skilled, but have a life together where they see that child as part of everything they do.
Inspiring story, and I know the Kemps really well. I know Tate really well. When I first met Tate a few years ago, I did a story on him when he was at the centre. Yeah. It was just incredible. He couldn't walk, he had a brace, he was in a wheelchair, and a lot of the kids there with the parents, it's just 24/7 for a lot of them. Those kids have just come forward so far because this centre in Melbourne, Victoria, is really leading the world in what they're doing with kids with cerebral palsy. And it's so important, as the lady just mentioned, that we assume when we see the disability that mentally you think, oh, OK,
they're not equal.
They're not equal, and these kids are just like all of us and just can't move their muscles. So it's such a wonderful centre, and Tate actually runs marathons. He did the Melbourne Marathon this year. He does Run for the Kids in Victoria, and his little brother Nash that you just saw is the most wonderful brother to him. So a big hello to the Kemp family, and if you'd like to find out more about how you can support the Cerebral Palsy Education Centre, you can go to our website for more information. It's just wonderful.
Wonderful people that work in
the carers there are just amazing.
But